everyone, Yasmin here, a middle grade fantasy book illustrator, helping you with your art journey by showing you mine. And today we're going to be looking at the wonderful book, The Bellwoods Game by Celia Krampien. I'm kind of excited to go over these illustrations with you today. I have a lot of thoughts that I have about going through the book, and I really wanted to look through the illustrations and talk to you about my thoughts and about what I learned and my takeaway from looking at all of these illustrations. I feel like there's a lot to learn from this book. I'm excited to share my thoughts and these beautiful illustrations with you. Come on, let's have a look. So for those of you who aren't familiar, The Bellwoods Game is a captivating story about mystery and intrigue and adventure. But what it really brings the story to life is Celia Krampien's illustrations. Let's have a look. From the cover itself, you can tell that the book is really something special. I love this idea. If you can't touch this, it's all embossed, which is wonderful. Also, the text itself is in the shape of a bell, which I thought was a really good idea. Foreshadowing is a really interesting. The kids in the story are framed really nicely also too. I like that they're all facing in different directions, so it gives the idea that there's a lot of mystery and there's something that they could be looking for. I also didn't clock this on my first look, but the two eyes were there at first. It's nice and subtle, but it also gives the idea that they are being watched, so that also foreshadows to an important event or person that might be present. What do you think about the cover? Let me know in the comments below. So now we're going to flip through a couple of pages. I don't want to spoil anything, so we're not going to go through really far into the illustrations, but I just wanted to get what Celia Krampien does with the illustrations here. So right away, the first illustrations, they give you a wide map view of the setting of the story, Fall Hollow. So, and more specifically about where the kids are mainly, you can see where the school is here, and then all of this area is pretty much where most of the story takes place. And I love these kinds of implied trees, and I think one of the things that I really enjoy about Miss Krampien's work is her use of tones. You're really going to see that in the rest of her illustrations. She has full cover illustrations. There's also chapter openers, which I think were pretty nice, and each of them foreshadowing something that's going to happen in the chapter, so it also grabs readers' attention. I thought that was a really great idea. There's also spot illustrations here that are inside the middle of the story. She has an interesting idea where she combines a little bit of a comic style in her illustrations. There's panels sometimes. I think that that's fun and interesting to look at. The text works together to boost the story rather than a direct representation of what's going on, which I think was interesting. Looking at various that she chooses to put in frame, things like this, like the howls in the effects, I think it adds a layer of mystery and intrigue, and also plays up the dramatics as well too. Builds a scene. Another quick thing that I wanted to mention was her use of perspectives. I think that playing with perspective is something that I can remember for my own work in the future. I think this is one of my favorite parts, the instances of lighting, of drama is portrayed here. I think that it really gets readers to be interested in what happens in the future, what happened, what will happen, and what is the cost of this moment is pretty much what we're trying to find out. I feel like it's portrayed really nicely in this tone, especially with the much darker tones. We can look at her artistic techniques as well. I think her lines are more on a little bit on the bolder side, but I love these little lines to imply texture and form. Not every individual leaf is portrayed. It implied that they are leaves without having to really draw every single individual leaf. And she plays with tone a lot. Like here in the lightning, that stands out really starkly as opposed to the other tones that she uses for the sky. And I think in a lot of her illustrations, she plays up this very often, where the characters will stand out starkly because she plays a lot with negative space, wanted to show. This is a nice idea of using negative space and have the characters stand out really well. I feel like it's an important part to remember to make your characters or your areas of focus stand out by giving them a lot of free space around them or making them stand out starkly. I think that's an important point to remember. Also, creating a lot of great movement of the grass and of the leaves, and really feeling that this is late autumn despite not having the colors to depend on. So I'm learning so much. I really feel that strongly. As an illustrator myself, I'm always inspired by the various works of numerous artists and what they can put together. The Bellwoods Game has definitely inspired my own ideas, and I feel excited to start my own project. Have you ever been inspired by a project or an illustrator? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure through the Bellwoods Game. If you enjoyed the video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more illustration reviews and art content. And don't forget to check out Celia Krampien's book for yourself. Let me know what book or artist you want me to review next. See you in the next video. And remember, a small step can be a big leap forward. Have a good day.